Welcome to Spring Lake Park High School for Northwest Suburban Conference baseball action on CCX Sports as the Osseo Orioles, looking for that first win of the season here, take on the Panthers, who have won 3 times. I'm Jay Wilcox. Joining me for today's game, Andrew Keogh. And weird season definitely here, Drew, as both these teams obviously late start with the winter, and then you try to jam in as many games as you can. And I think both of them feel like, we've been close to winning a little more than we have, but now an opportunity today to try and chalk up another W.
Yeah, for Osseo, it's been a tough start to the season, but it's important to focus on the postseason and working towards the perfect season you can put together in the postseason. You don't worry too much about the regular season. You want to work out the kinks, get the rust off, and put together your best team as the season winds down here.
There's a look at the lineup for Coach John Grubner and the Orioles. Adam Lanner's leading it off, then John Klein, the catcher, Jake Contreras at first base, Andrew Tovs in the DH, Andrew Shaw in center, then Tim Lavin, the second baseman, Nelson Lynch in left, Walker Hultgren in right field, and Matt Holeen, the shortstop, hitting in the number 9 slot for the Orioles. And the defense for Tom Nergard and the Panthers today looks like this: Jacob Kultvedt at third base, Nathan Miller at short, Zach Zemlicka at second base, Blake Holm is the first baseman, Luke Bussey, Sam Fritz, and Avery Bentrott in the outfield, Mickey Zeller the catcher, and doing the pitching is junior right-hander Derek Sonmore. Panthers have scored some runs this year, but given up a fair amount too. And Osseo, they talked about the big thing that's hurt them is just big innings against them defensively, that they've been in some games and all of a sudden in one inning it gets away. So Lanner's stepping in to lead things off here. 263 average for him as that first pitch wide. A little cooler than it's been the last couple of days, but definitely not a bad day here for baseball after the horrendous start we had weather-wise to this 2018 season. Lanners takes ball 2. State entrant as a wrestler for the Orioles. Also a pretty good football player too. Nice to see somebody still sticking around for all 3 sports.
Yeah, that specialty stuff is really taking over the amateur sports in junior high and high school.
So look at John Grubner, 8th season, and I was joking with him today. I was looking his name up in our archive, and the first thing that appeared in there was when he hit a home run as a player for Osseo. Lanner's lining one out to left field, but it hangs up long enough for Bussey to make the catch. So pretty decent contact there for Lanners, but it's going to result in an out as he hit it a little too hard there. Maybe wanted to drop that one in front of the left fielder.
Yeah, it's going to show up as a plain old out in the scorebook, but that's a good, solid at-bat to start the game for Osseo. You put solid contact on the ball, put it out in the left field. You got to make the defense make their plays, and Spring Lake Park did that time.
So John Klein will step in. A rip and a miss at the first pitch there. Klein, the sophomore, working behind the plate today. Looks at a fastball over for strike 2 from Sonmore, and Panthers pitcher quickly ahead. Sounds like from talking to coaches, both pitchers are guys that not going to be overpowering, looking to locate their pitches, and we'll probably see some balls put in play today, and probably see some base runners, but do their best to to limit the damage and play sharp baseball. The one thing you like is if you got guys throwing strikes, it gives your fielders a lot better chance to be involved in the game and be on their toes. And it's very true that they stay sharper, I think, when the guys will work a little quicker and throw strikes.
Nice pitch there.
Yeah, breaking ball froze Klein, and Sonmore has his first strikeout. So 2 outs in the top of the first, and Jake Contreras will be the hitter now for Osseo.
Yeah, Jay, you talk about throwing strikes, and that's the objective for a pitcher. And with the defense behind them, if they see their pitcher hitting spots and throwing strikes, there's a lot more confidence, and they're more patient with their pitcher on the mound. But if they're not being able to find that strike zone, there becomes a little bit of frustration, and they lose a little bit of their attention.
A little dribbler off the end of the bat there for Contreras. In the stats we have, it looks like they may be missing a game or two, but he's had a good start. By definitely the best average on the team, well, up near 600, hitting 571. So that's not bad.
No, that's a good start to the season. Small sample size, but I'm sure that's anytime you're batting over 300-400, that's a good start to the season.
Another nice breaking ball there, over for a strike from Sonmor. Slashed, and that's a fair ball down the right field line, and Contreras looks like he'll have a chance at 2 here. The throw coming in, and he will have a stand-up double. Lining that ball hard past the first baseman and into right field. So a 2-out runner into scoring position here for Osseo.
Good swing by Contreras there. He waited till the ball got deep back in the box and pushed it down the right field line with a little power, and easily gets into second base with a 2-out double.
So Tovin will be the batter now, the DH. Andrew Tovin for the Orioles. Back up the middle, and that one's going to be through for a base hit. Contreras is going to be held at third, and probably wisely so, as the throw coming into the catcher. So Tovin with a single, and they'll have runners at the corners now with 2 outs. As he drove that one back through past Sonmor.
Good solid contact right up the middle with 2 outs. You'd hope to get that runner in, but easy, quick charge on the hit there, and center field is able to get the ball in quickly. Keep the runner at third.
Yeah, he wasn't playing him in especially deep and got to the ball in a hurry. And Contreras, I think, admittedly not the fastest Oriole out there, so probably a good idea to hold him there. Andrew Shaw, the center fielder, will step in. Down the third baseline, but foul, and fortunately so for the Panthers, because that was a difficult opportunity over there for a Cultvet, and it was definitely foul, though. We got a pretty good look at it here, and about a foot foul.
Yeah, if that's a fair ball, that's easily a run, and maybe runners on second and third with 2 outs. Instead, Spring Lake Park still has a chance to get out of this first inning without a run coming across the plate.
Runner from first is going, and they're just going to concede that base. So Tovin in at second.
Good heads-up base running there by Osseo. You know, you got 2 outs, you got runners on first and third. That's a tough play for a catcher to make, because you don't want to give up the run with 2 outs on third there.
Little tapper foul, and especially on that pitch that it ended up being a breaking ball down and in. I think very wise to not even consider throwing that ball.
Yeah, because you got to make a perfect throw to even get the out, and if you don't, the runner could break, and if you have a bad throw, things could spiral out of control pretty quickly.
And a swing and a miss as he fooled him with a breaking ball in. And so nice job by Sonmor to get out of the inning. The Orioles threaten but don't score in the top of the first. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 left on base as Sonmor getting out of it via the K right here.
Yeah, he jammed him. Curveball up in the box. He anticipated the curveball but wasn't able to get the bat up in the zone to put the ball in play.
So the Orioles don't score. Spring Lake Park will get their first opportunity with the bats as they get out of the inning. Sam Fritz, their center fielder, will lead things off, followed by the third baseman Cultvet, and it's the shortstop Nathan Miller. Zeller, the catcher, hits fourth, and Sonmor will hit and bat fifth. Bossy, the left fielder, Zemlick, the second baseman, then Ben Trott, the right fielder, hits eighth, and Blake Holm, the first baseman, hitting in the number 9 slot for the Panthers. And the defensive alignment for Osseo, Lanners, Olin, Lavin, and Contreras around the infield. Lynch, Shaw, and Hultgren left to right in the outfield. Klein is the catcher, and doing the pitching, junior right-hander Conrad Kish making his second start. Started against Park Center in a loss to the Pirates earlier this year. Park Center has kind of come up with a couple. They had a memorable week for them. They beat their 2 district rivals, Osseo, then Maple Grove, within a couple of days. So wow. For their sake, they're excited to get things going. Obviously, if you're an Osseo fan, you're not saying, loving that part of it, but good to see the Pirates doing a little bit there too.
Yeah, that's a big milestone accomplishment for the Pirates. They're knocking off both those teams in 1 week, and especially with Maple Grove, the way they've been playing in the program they've had over the past few years. Park Center having a great start to the season. But for Osseo, you don't have anything to lose. You don't have a win this season. You don't feel the pressure. You want to come out here, continue to play hard and throw strikes and fundamentals. It's all about fundamentals at this level. You want to make sure you field the ground ball, come up, make a good solid throw, and get the out. One out at a time. You don't want things to spiral out of control.
Sam Fritz, the center fielder, stepping in here for the Panthers. Kish starts him with a strike. That one down in the dirt, 1-1. There's a look at Tom Nergard. First year as head coach here at Spring Lake Park, but he was telling me he'd been involved in baseball in the Fridley program for about 25 years at various capacities. Said from T-ball to Legion, pretty much done a little bit of it all through. Coached their JV program for 9 seasons, and obviously very near to Spring Lake Park here, neighboring district, so taking this job this spring. This one lined out into left field, and that'll be in for a base hit. Fritz digging hard, and he will hang on at first base with a solid single to start things out. So both leadoff hitters hit line drives to left. The difference was that Fritz's got down and in for a hit, whereas Lanners had his caught.
About the same spot, just the left fielder was positioned further down the line, closer to the line, a little deeper than the Spring Lake Park defender was at the top half of the inning. But a good start for Spring Lake Park to get the leadoff batter on base here.
Coltfed will hit now for the Panthers, and I really like the way that Fritz ran hard. He was anticipating, I'm going to look at a double until they show me that I'm not going to be able to take a double. And that's what you really should be doing. You only get 3-4 at-bats. Run hard. If the ball's bobbled out there, especially this spring where the grass is late getting started and all that, you could definitely see some bad hops. And he is running. The ball is bunted. Kish will go to first and get the out there. So sacrifice is successful, and Fritz down to second. It looked like they started him there, and I'm a little surprised maybe that they didn't let him try and swipe it.
Yeah, I would imagine your leadoff hitter's got speed enough to get that stolen base, but they took the safe route and laid down the sacrifice bunt to make sure he got down there. But the runner was almost looking to take third base on that play, which he may have had a chance.
Nathan Miller will be the hitter now for Spring Lake Park as they quickly get a runner into scoring position here with 1 out. That one hangs up high for a ball. Lifted out to left center, and a hang up there, and grab made by Shaw. So 2 outs now in the inning. Got underneath that one more than he'd like.
Yeah, he didn't have too much power on that one. Put it up high in the air. Easy play for the center fielder. They say can of corn. It sure was, and got the ball in and kept the runner at second base.
So Mickey Zeller, the catcher, will step in, left-hand hitter here for the Panthers. And he pulls one over to the right side. Oh, a nice job to get to it by Lavin, and he gets the out. I was just thinking Lavin had bluffed towards second to try and keep that runner close, so he had a long run to go to get it, but he did it in nice fashion for the Orioles. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 left for Spring Lake Park in the first. After an inning, it's Osseo nothing, Spring Lake Park nothing.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
And welcome back here to Spring Lake Park. We are scoreless through one inning, although both teams had a threat going in their respective halves of the first inning. So pitchers getting out of trouble. A little defensive help too there as Lavin made a long run to get to one for Osseo as their second baseman and got the out. So it'll be Lavin leading it off, followed by Nelson Lynch and then Walker Hultgren, the 6, 7, 8 batters coming up in the top of the second here for Osseo against the right-hander Derek Sonmore for Spring Lake Park.
Yeah, Lavin coming to the plate after that good play out at second base. It seems like an easy play moving over towards first base, but he has to make that play and then make a spin move and get the ball over to first base before the runner gets there to get that third out at the bottom.
Especially when he was, you know, like I said, bluffing towards second to try and hold that runner, and he really had to get on the move in a hurry. I was just looking up at that alignment as the pitch was coming in, and there seemed to be a fair amount of room on the right side. You could see why they tried to go that way with the swing. Taken inside there by Lavin. He's had a little trouble with the bat. He's one of their more veteran returners for sure. Hasn't hit especially well early going this season, but still time to get that turned around. Takes a strike here. Sonmore's got kind of a slow motion and then he kind of explodes toward the plate. He's got a fairly lengthy leg kick and then turns. It's kind of a classic pitching motion.
Yeah, he's very slow with the leg kick and the step back, and then he tries to drive towards home plate to get a little extra velocity on that pitch. Not the biggest frame, but he seems to get a little velocity behind that ball with that windup.
3-1 count here now to Lavin. And he'll drive this one to center, but again, it's going to hang up. They're playing fairly shallow in the outfield. And Fritz able to spin and make that catch. Another one that I thought off the bat, looked like it had possibilities of being in there for a hit, but then you get a look up and you think, wow, the center fielder's not very deep.
Yeah, very shallow scouting report for Spring Lake Park here. Some coaches like to do that. They like to position their outfielders in early on to make sure that nothing falls in front of them, especially early in the game. You have that opportunity to keep those balls in front of you. Wait till they hit it over your head to start backing up.
Nelson Lynch is the hitter, and especially with nobody on base too, that makes sense. There's a strike taken. And certainly when when your center fielder has to reach over his head like that, you start to get a little nervous that it's going to go over his head, but it didn't quite happen. Lynch takes that one outside.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what adjustments they make with runners on base. I didn't notice that in the first inning, but that's a really good point. With nobody on, you can take that risk, but with a runner on, you definitely want to do anything you can to keep those balls in front of you.
Cut and a miss. And you'd love to say that they've got great hitting charts on each other, but the reality is that especially in this season with so many games backed up, I don't think that's the case at all. They're just kind of going by feel, maybe a little bit, if you played them last year and the same hitter comes up or something. Little dribbler down the third baseline, tough play, and they won't have a play. It's going to be an infield hit for Lynch. Just almost like a swinging bunt there, and the pitcher was the first one to get to it, and Sonmore realized by that time there's really no play to be made.
Yeah, Sonmore falling off to the left side of the mound. He gets to the ball quickly, but he has no chance to make that play. It's almost like a perfectly executed bunt there.
So Walker Hultgren will step in now for the Orioles. Runner at first and one out. Takes a strike on the inner part.
And now with the run on first, they still have their outfielders pretty shallow. So if Walker can hit the ball well here, he can get it over their heads pretty easily.
To second. Flip. Oh, and it's wide of the shortstop, so everyone's going to be safe. And an error there will give Osseo two runners with one out. I really think the play probably should have been made to first on this one just based on where the ball's hit, although really a good throw would have definitely had him.
Yeah.
It's more so the execution error. I maybe rescind my thought that they gambled by going to second there, but either way, they don't get the out. It's an error. First and second, one out now for Matt Holine, the young shortstop. Takes that one for a ball.
Yeah, back to that play at second base. Footwork is one of those things that gets overlooked so often at this level that had the shortstop been going to the bag with his right foot instead of his left foot, he would have been able to stretch out further to the left side to receive that ball, but instead he was going with his right foot and wasn't able to cross over his body.
That one is a strike to Holine. And strike two. So Sonmore was able to work out of trouble in the first. He can try and do the same here in the second. First and second, one out after a fielding error cost them what should have been an out. I don't know if you can't really say they should have turned two, but at least gotten one out on that play.
Yeah, you would assume one out. Turning two there would have been very difficult. Now this one's different.
Down to short. There's one. Relay to first. Not going to be in time. And a nice stop to keep that one in the infield as Lynch had ideas about heading for home. So Holine will be aboard on the fielder's choice as Hultgren is forced 6-4. Ball wasn't really hit all that hard, making this one a tough one to turn. And pretty good job getting in there hard with the slide, too. And you see they really weren't close to getting him. It was just a nice stop at that point just to keep that ball in the infield there by home.
A good job by the runner on third to round that base aggressively in case that ball didn't come up clean by the first baseman. You want to make sure you're in a position to come in and score that first run of the game.
Lanners will be the batter. First and third, two outs. He hit the ball solidly to left, and this time he hits it solidly to center, and that one is going to burn him. One run is in, and a second run may score as well. Lanners digging into second. Here comes the throw to the plate. It is late and high, and two-run score on the play for Osseo as they strike first. Well, we were talking about how they seem to be playing pretty shallow, and that time Lanners makes them pay, driving a double to center field to bring in two.
Yeah, two solid at-bats for Lanners here thus far this afternoon. That time puts it to center field, got a little more power on it, burns the center fielder, and easily brings in the two runs, first two runs for Osseo, and to put him on the board here.
And you see the throw coming in to the plate was high, although I don't know that they were really going to have much of a shot at him anyway. And they are able to keep Lanners from advancing to third anyway. So Klein steps in. He takes a breaking ball for a strike. He took a called third strike his first time up, but Osseo breaking through, getting two runs, and wanting to be greedy and look for more here with two outs. Another breaking ball for a strike, and Klein having a little trouble tracking that one, it looked like. So 0-2 as Sonmore tries to work out of this inning after giving up that double. Missed outside with the fastball, but that's a good pitch on 0-2. See if you can get him to extend and chase that one.
Yeah, as long as if it's 0-2 and you have anything close to the plate, that's still a great pitch. You don't want to throw anything down the middle, and you don't want to waste a pitch way off the plate.
That one is outside, and a nice stop as Lanners was taking a close look to see if that one had gotten past, but it did not. Zeller getting over there. Off the end of the bat, charging at second, flip to first is in time, and they get the out. But Osseo comes through with a couple unearned runs, 2 runs in the inning on 2 base hits. There was 1 error by the Panthers and 1 left aboard. We'll go to the bottom of 2. It's Osseo 2, Spring Lake Park, nothing.
What makes your community feel like home? Is it knowing what's happening in your neighborhood, or when people know your name? Connections make us a community. For more than 30 years, Northwest Community Television has connected citizens, neighbors, even sports fans through video. As life gets busier than ever, we will still offer you a connected community experience through CCX Media, so you can stay connected to the place you call home. What makes your community feel like home? Is it knowing what's happening in your neighborhood, or when people know your name? Connections make us a community. For more than 30 years, Northwest Community Television has connected citizens, neighbors, even sports fans through video. You can learn about the latest news through our truly local newscast. We cover and air around 150 high school sporting events every year. For our cities, we air parades and city meetings that you can watch whenever you want. Then, any citizen of our cities can create and share their own original content. We'll even teach you how to use the equipment too. We have always provided you with a connected community experience. And as life gets busier than ever, we will continue to engage, inform, and inspire through CCX Media, so you can stay connected to the place you call home.
Welcome back here to Spring Lake Park as we head to the bottom of the second inning. The pitcher, Derek Sonmore, leading it off here for the Panthers as he faces junior righty Conrad Kish. Kish gave up a leadoff single in the first, but got out of the inning with no harm done. And that one misses, so 3-0 now to Sonmore, trying to get on here to begin the second. And that one way up high, so a 4-pitch walk issued to Sonmore to begin this second inning.
Not how you want to start the inning. You want to make sure you're throwing strikes. He was around the plate for the first couple pitches, but that last pitch wasn't that close, and he tried to take a little off and make sure he threw a strike, but he didn't have too much control on that one.
Luke Bussey will be the batter now for Spring Lake Park. We're going to see a courtesy runner for the pitcher. Looks like it'll be Owen Rumpka running, number 8. So most teams will take advantage of that and let your pitcher head into the dugout and rest up a little bit rather than be out there running the bases. So Rumpka, the courtesy runner. Last time around they bunted when they got the leadoff on. A little different here, down 2-0 now, but we'll see. Kish missing way up high and away. And that one is down. He's having a little trouble hitting his spot here in the second inning after throwing a pretty solid first.
Yeah, you want to make sure you get a strike across here. You don't want to start the inning off with 2 straight walks on 4 pitches.
And really, most of these haven't been close enough to even make the Spring Lake Park hitter have any doubt whether he was going to swing or not.
Right.
And time called here is he's struggling, and Coach Grubner is going to come out, have a little chat with his pitcher here.
You just want to build some confidence in him. You want to make sure he knows that he's got defense behind him. Let him know you can throw strikes. Don't try and overthink it. Just throw strikes. He's been throwing fastballs, mostly fastballs, but he hasn't been able to find the zone this inning.
Looks like they're trying to loosen him up with some humor there a little bit as his catcher, Klein, is chuckling a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be loose. You got to don't overthink it. You don't want to be stressed out and trying to throw perfect pitches every time. You want to make sure you just throw strikes. You don't want to give up free passes at any point in the game. But when you get a lead, you want to make sure you throw strikes and let your defense make the plays.
And that one way up and in, so back-to-back walks to start the second, and Zemlicki will be the hitter now for Spring Lake Park.
You know, Jay, you and I were talking before the game that Osseo's been in a lot of the games this season. They've just had a couple innings where they spiral out of control. If you're Osseo, you don't want to see that happen here in the second inning at Spring Lake Park.
Stepping off here, so a good opportunity here for Zemlicki. I mean, but you still, I think you want to be patient. Obviously, when a guy's walked the first two hitters, you know, you'd love to get up there and be swinging, but I think you got to be looking to take a strike, and that one was a nice breaking ball for a strike. Probably the best curveball that we've seen from Kish so far in the game right there, and not a bad time for it either as he starts him off with a strike.
If you're not throwing the fastball well, try the secondary pitch.
Going to chase that runner back to second. Cut and a miss, so Zemlicki trailing now 0-2. Breaking ball missing inside there, so.
Another good solid curveball there, and it's interesting to look at Osseo's outfield. They're playing very deep. I mean, compared to Spring Lake Park, they're probably 20, 25 feet deeper in the Spring Lake Park outfield, so see how that plays out here.
Driven down the left field line, but foul. So Osseo dodging one there as that one was solidly hit, but got out front of it just a little bit and was not terribly close to being in play there, about 5 feet foul or slightly more there, but still a nice swing. I mean, even though you're disappointed it's not fair, I think it gives you a little confidence if you're Zach that, you know, I made some nice solid contact and I can do it again if need be here. Kish going to step off here. Both pitchers working relatively slow here, especially with runners on, which obviously is more likely to be the case.
Yeah, they're definitely paying a lot of attention to the runners here. I don't think you need to worry about that right now. You definitely want to keep them close, but you want to focus on the batter and throw strikes and get this out at the plate.
Breaking balls inside, and the reality is I don't think most pitchers really like to throw a pickoff throw to second anyway, and it's a difficult thing. You're trying to hit a moving target. More often than not, it winds up being in, you know, getting away, throwing into the center field or whatever anyway.
Yeah, it's fun to try, but if you don't need to do it, don't try it.
Fought that one off on a pitch in on his hands. Another 2-2 pitch coming. 2 runners on, nobody out for Spring Lake Park in the bottom of the second. They're down 2-0, but trying to change that. And there's a called third strike as he comes back fastball on the outer part of the plate, and Zemlicki caught looking. So 1 out, and Bentrot will be the hitter. Pretty steady diet of pitches that were a little more in, and then that time came to the outside corner.
Yeah, it's a tough pitch there. It looks like it's a little off the plate, but called third strike. You got to protect the plate with 2 strikes.
Bentrot will be the hitter. Curveball just missing there. I think Kish wanted that one.
And he seems to be feeling much more comfortable with that curveball than the fastball this inning.
And that one is high and tight, so missing with the first 2 pitches to the number 8 hitter, Ben Trott, with Blake Holm waiting on deck here for Spring Lake Park as they try and answer the 2 runs that Osseo put up here in the top half of the 2nd inning. Lifted out to left field. It's going to drop, but they might have a force. Nope, not quite. It's going to be a single as Ben Trott just dropping one in. Tough spot for that lead base runner there because he couldn't tell for sure if Lynch was going to have a chance to catch it. And he just gets in ahead of the throw. So the bases will be loaded up.
Yeah, I bet you if Lynch holds his glove up here acting like he's going to catch the ball, that runner runs back to second base because that is pretty close to him. And he was playing very shallow. That ball wasn't hit that far. And so they had a chance at third base, but they weren't able to get the out there.
Blake Holm is the hitter and out in front of that one for strike 1. Made a nice play to really barehand it. Not a great throw, but decent enough. But it was just the runner was able to read it just in time to see that he wasn't going to be able to get there. Low and away with that one. Klein a stop, so 1-1. Osseo has the corner infielders up on the grass. The middle infielders look like they would try and turn 2 on the ball hit at them. And again out front of that one, so Holm falling behind in the count here. Top of the order due next though for the Panthers as they still have a great opportunity here with the bases full and 1 out. And there's a fastball for a called 3rd strike as Holm takes strike 3. Second called strike. The 3rd strike taken this inning by the Panthers, and now Sam Fritz will be the hitter.
Yeah, another ball it's tough to take with 2 strikes. You got to protect that plate. They've been a little off the edge, but still it's close enough to be called a strike in this part of the game.
So Fritz, who singled his first time up, and he is hit by the pitch. And a run will score.
Calling him back? He's calling him back.
You're right. Said he stuck his arm up. I spoke too soon. Another look is.
I don't know. That's a tough call. I mean, he has a right to be in the box, and yeah, he may have lifted his arm, but he's still in the box and he got hit.
And Coach Nergard coming down and.
He definitely moved his arm to get hit by the ball because the ball wasn't thrown that hard, but he has a right to be in the box, and if he gets hit while he's in the box.
Yeah, it's kind of a myth that people think that you're required to attempt to get out of the way. You are not.
No.
And I have to be honest with you, I kind of agree with Spring Lake Park here. He didn't try to move, but he also, I didn't think, leaned into it.
Yeah, you see a lot of times in college baseball, they'll duck and they'll lean over the plate, and that's when it gets called. But that one, he wasn't leaning over the plate. He stayed straight up in the batter's box and just kind of raised his elbow.
So 2-0 and now 3-0. So we may end up with the same result anyway if he ends up with a walk. And that one will be a strike, so 3-1.
Take all the way on that one. That one was right over the plate, a little bit high, but it would have been great to swing at that, but I think he had the take sign all the way here.
And that one is ball 4, so ultimately we wind up, as I said, with the same result. A run will score as a bases loaded walk. Rumpka comes in to score. So the bases will remain loaded with 2 outs. Spring Lake Park now on the board, 2-1 game. Jacob Kaltved will be the hitter. He looks at ball one. He had to sacrifice his first time through. Little tapper. Kish is going to take it himself as he wants to go for a sprint over there, and he gets the out at first base. The Panthers do get one run on one base hit, and they leave 3 aboard. We have completed 2 innings here now at Spring Lake Park. It's Osseo 2 and Spring Lake Park 1.
Doesn't see race. Love is love.
Welcome back here to Spring Lake Park High School, and thanks for joining us for Northwest Suburban Conference Baseball on CCX Sports. Osseo leading at 2-1 as we go to the 3rd inning. Jake Contreras, Andrew Tovin, and Andrew Shaw, the 3-4-5 hitters, getting set to face that guy, right-hander Derek Sonmore for Spring Lake Park. Orioles have gotten a couple of hits in each inning. Stranded them in the first inning, but with an error mixed in there in the second, they were able to come through. Lanners driving one over the center fielder's head for a double to knock in a pair, and then Spring Lake Park answered with a bases-loaded walk. See, Contreras had a double to right field his first time up. I think a lot of pretty good at-bats here for some Orioles. Even a couple of, outs were liners at the outfielders. Lanners had one, as did Lavin. First pitch over for a strike, so I think they feel confident that they can put the ball in play with some authority here against Sonmore, but at the same time, it's all about taking advantage when you do get some base runners and see what each of these teams can do. Oops, that one got away from him high and tight. Contreras, a little smile there. You're glad it was a breaking ball. When be a little scarier when they come in at you like that if it was the heater, but takes it for a ball. And that one is down low. Outside with that one, so Sonmore having a little trouble putting the ball where he wants to so far here in this second inning. And there's ball 4, so Contreras working out a walk to lead off the 3rd, and Tovin will be the hitter now for the Orioles. First walk given up in the game by Sonmore. See what Coach Grubner has in mind here. And down and in with that one, ball 1. Tovin had a single up the middle his first time up. And outside, and Sonmore kind of facing what Kish had to work through in the last inning, where he just his release point a little bit off here to begin the inning and just laboring to put the ball where he wants to. And that one outside as well. So Tovin trying to follow up Contreras' leadoff walk by getting on himself here. He's adding the count 3-0. And there's a fastball over for a strike, and Sonmore, you can see it kind of thinking, no, that's more like it. That's what I need to be doing.
Celebrate the little things. Throw strikes. That's all you want to do.
Chopper to short. It's going to have to be charged. Here's the throw to first. It's wide. And runner from second to third will advance Contreras. And Tovin is aboard.
Yeah, it's a tough play for the shortstop there. Nice play to come out clean on that short hop and keep that momentum going over to first base, but the throw was a little offline. The first baseman wasn't able to get it. Runner headed down to second, made a good aggressive turn, noticed the ball got loose and scampered down to third base.
So an error there. As we said, tough chance, but it's certainly a good throw was going to get him. So E6 there, runners at the corners. Andrew Shaw, the hitter now for Osseo, as they try and stretch the lead back out a little bit, leading it 2-1. Takes ball one. Shaw struck out his first time up. And looks at that one up high for a ball.
Interesting delivery here out of the stretch. Very little leg kick. He picks his leg up and just kind of swings it forward.
Conference time here for the Panthers.
Yeah, first 2 innings he was throwing strikes pretty consistently. Now he seems to be losing a little bit of control. He's still throwing the ball pretty hard, but I think he just wants to come out and settle down his pitcher and make sure he's throwing strikes and not much of a leg kick. And he, like I said earlier, it's a pretty small frame, but he has a little bit of velocity on that ball, and if he's able to get the ball across the plate, he's going to have an effective outing here. But giving up free passes is not what you want to do.
And that one's way outside. Runner gonna stop. Contreras now will head back to third. Good hustle by both the catcher and pitcher. That allows Tobin to move to second, but I thought this was gonna be a run at first glance.
Yeah, he got at least halfway down the third baseline and decided to change his mind. Not the worst decision here with nobody out, and now you have runners at second and third. You still have a really good chance to get that runner in from third base. You don't want to take risks and make an out at the plate when you have a chance to sac fly or a sac bunt or something else to put the ball in play.
Fastball over for a strike as he went back to the windup there now with runners at second and third. And good job by hustling back there too by Zeller, and he knows his backstop too here, and that ball was rebounding toward him, and they were going to have a pretty good chance to get it out, I think, if the runner had come.
Yeah, the catcher located the ball really quickly and was able to get on it immediately.
And that one at the knees for strike two. Shaw thought he had a walk, but umpire making that strike call. So 3-2 now. Second and third, nobody out here for the Orioles. And a rip and a miss. Sonmore coming up with the strikeout. So one out, and Tim Lavin will be the batter now for Osseo.
Nice job to come back from a 3-0 count to get that strikeout, first out of the inning. Big out for Spring Lake Park here.
Lavin now stepping in. He lined out to center field his first time up. Looks at a strike here.
Yeah, Sommer seems like he's a totally different pitcher coming out of the windup compared to what he was doing in the stretch.
Infield playing back for the most part for the Panthers. First baseman is up tight on the grass, but the rest look like they would concede a run here on a ball hit at him just to get an out. Ooh, that one might have hit him, I think. Yes, it did. And so Lavin will be aboard, and you know there'll probably be somebody on the Spring Lake Park bench barking a little bit about, hey, how come? No, this one was clearly a much different play than the previous.
Yeah, he definitely did a, the classic turn the back, which is a tough, it's tough to do as a batter. It happens so quick, but nice job to turn that back and take that ball in the elbow or the tricep and take your free pass down first base.
Nelson Lynch, the hitter, and that one is outside for a ball. Lynch had a single his first time up, and then he a play that looked like there was going to be a force play at second on him, and the throw was wide, and so he ultimately ended up coming in to score the first of the 2 runs on that hit by Lanners. And drives this one a long way to center. It's going to be playable, but should score the run. Throw will come into second as actually both runners from second and third moving up. Contreras scores on the play. Tovin tagging up as well to advance over to third. Sacrifice fly here by Lynch. I think right off the bat there was some feeling, coming from the dugout and the fans that this one might have a chance to get down for a hit. But considering they had him played pretty well, Fritz getting over easily to make the catch, and the runner from third scoring was not a surprise or a big deal there. But I think advancing from second to third was good alert base running there by Tovin.
Yeah, a solid fly ball, deep fly ball. Hit it high enough so that the center fielder was able to move over there and make an easy play. But ball was hit pretty deep and gave the runner a good chance to move on to third base, and the runner come in to score.
Walker Hultgren, the hitter now for Osseo, with runners at the corners and now 2 outs. But the 2-run lead back in play now at 3-1 after that sac fly. Runner moving from first and drilled foul down the right field line. Breaking ball, missing there, and runner will move up as Lavin takes second on the play. I think Spring Lake Park was feeling that they might have had strike 3 there, but
yeah, Sommer was taking a couple extra steps off the mound towards to the dugout.
And that one's in the dirt. Oh, and Tovin electing to head back. That one looked like maybe could have been one you would score on.
Yeah, I thought they would have sent him in on that one, but again, you don't want to get that out of home plate. But that one scampered away, scooted away from the catcher, and he didn't get to it as fast as the other pitch that got by him earlier in the inning. But Osseo decides to hold the runner.
And driven foul down the third baseline. It'll drop on the field, so he stays alive up there. Hultgren, yeah, quite honestly, talking about what a great jump Tovin got on that tagging from second to third, but in my mind, he should have scored on that last one.
Yeah.
If he had read it right off, I think he probably was going to get there. And that's really got to be the base runner himself. You can't wait for a coach to give you the word.
Yeah, it's instincts. You got to have a quick read and get down that line. It's a tough play.
Out into short left field and drifting back, making the grab there is a shortstop Miller. So Hultgren popping out to short left there. With the Orioles done in the third, they do get 1 run in the inning, no hits. There was 1 error by Spring Lake Park and a couple left aboard. We head to the bottom of the third. It's 3-1 Osseo.
Every time I hear the alarm bell go off in school, I think it's an air raid.
A lot of houses in our neighborhood have been destroyed. I like to close my ears and sing songs whenever the bombs come close.
I'm worried our new neighbors won't like us.
But I know it's all gonna be worth it. I just want my family to be safe. But these are not my words.
These are not my words.
These are not my words.
Pretty good ball game so far here. Osseo leading Spring Lake Park 3-1 as we go to the bottom of the third. The Panthers will have their 3, 4, 5 hitters coming up. Miller, Zeller, and Sonmore. And Kish out there for his third inning of work. Had a pretty good first inning, a little more adventurous in the second. He allowed 3 walks and a single, but did end up getting out of trouble.
Yeah, he did a nice job that last inning to get out of trouble. He wasn't too crisp with his pitches for the first part of the inning. Lost control and gave up a couple free passes, but focused in and was able to get out of the inning, only giving up 1 run.
Miller skying one out to left field. And no troubles out there for Nelson Lynch. 1 gone here in the third. And Zeller will be the hitter. There's some breeze today, but doesn't seem to be enough that it's giving anybody trouble on these fly balls.
Yeah, not much. And that sun seems to be hidden, but that ball was hit pretty high. So nice job by the left fielder to haul that one in.
Zeller steps up, takes a first pitch strike. He bounced to second to end the first inning as Lavin made a nice play to get over, ranging toward first to get the out. That one was behind him.
Don't see that too often. Like a dance move up there in the batter's box.
Yeah, the instinct is always to kind of back away, but that one he would have backed into it, and I don't think. Yeah, you'd like to get on, but you don't really want to take one in the calf, or no. I don't think.
Yeah, the worst is right in the ankle. Oh, that can hurt.
And slashes this one fair down the first baseline. Zeller digging for 2, and he will be in with a stand-up double here, so first extra base hit for the Panthers as Zeller really jumped on a pitch that appeared to be kind of low and in and just really turned on it and rocketed it past first. And then obviously Hultgren had a long way to go to get this one as he has to field it. You see the alignment here at Spring Lake Park, not a lot of room in foul ground over there out as you get farther out to the outfield. There is quite a bit, closer in, but the fences on each side really come in tight to the foul line.
Yeah, he looked like the right fielder was going to try and cut that ball off before it hit the fence and make a play at second base, but he had to wait for it to carry him off the fence, which allowed the runner to easily stroll into second base with a double.
So Sonmore taking that first pitch up high, and now ball 2. And I kind of hate to say it for Osseo fans, but in a way I'm glad Zeller made second because the umpire got in his way when he was going from first to second. I don't think it would have been too fun to have to see a guy get thrown out because of that reason. And ball 3.
He's thrown that pitch about 4 or 5 times already this inning, just on the right side of that, or the inside for a left-handed batter, outside for a right-handed batter. But he's consistently over on that side of the plate. He wants to move it over a little bit more towards the plate.
There is a strike. Well, we talked about using a courtesy runner for the pitcher, Sonmore, when he was on before. Zeller, the catcher, they must like him as a base runner because they could be running from here, but they are not. And there's ball 4 down low, so Sonmore will work out a walk for the second straight time. And Luke Bussey will be the batter here, and see if they will run again for Sonmore here. You would expect so. Rumpka will again be the courtesy runner for the Panthers. See, Luke walked his first time up. Starts him with a strike. Ripped but foul past third as Coach Nergard having to watch that one sail by him.
Yeah, it was a solid hit ball, just a little bit early on the pitch and pulled down the left field line. The wrong side of third base.
That one got away from Kish. Step off and run through the signs again here. Missed with that breaking ball. So 2-2 count here. Couple of runners on, one out for Spring Lake Park in the bottom of the third as they trail it by 2 runs. Liner at short, there's the out, and no chance to double up a runner there. So 2 gone. Good base running out there by Zeller to be close enough. I thought right away that Holine might have a play to second there, but elected not to throw. Obviously the second baseman Lavin still coming over as well.
Yeah, not worth taking the risk there. It seems like a pretty easy play. Ball's hit right at you, but I don't think that ball had much spin, and I think it was knuckling right at the shortstop and made a nice job to make that catch.
Zemlicka, the batter here for the Panthers. He took a called third strike his first time up, and a nice breaking ball to start him off. 0-1. So just the way the game is going, we're seeing each team, pretty much get some base runners every inning. It's just a matter of, do you get that clutch hit with a couple out, couple on? Throw to first base, and they got him. Yes. Nice job by Klein as he fires down to first. And they pick off Rumka as Contreras coming in behind him, and a big out to get out of the inning there. For the Panthers in the third, no runs, 1 hit, and 1 left aboard. We've played 3 full. It is 3-1 Osseo.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to theshelterpetproject.org and meet if you are in a shelter near you. Harlow, oh, she's one great listener and loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to theshelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
And we head to inning number 4 here from Spring Lake Park. Osseo looking for its first win of the season. Right now leading at 3-1. Matt Holine, Adam Lanners, John Klein, the scheduled hitters for the Orioles, the 9, 1, and 2 spots. And they will be again facing right-hander Derek Sonmore, who is, both pitchers at times have struggled, but they've done well enough to, to eat up some innings and stay in there and keep their team in it. Holine, a late cut at that one. He reached on a fielder's choice his first time up.
Yeah, both teams have had their fair share of runners get on base, and Osseo with that big hit to center field was able to capitalize and get a couple runs to come across the plate, which so far is the difference in the game.
You know, it could certainly prove to be wrong here, but it feels like a game where there probably are going to be some more runs. I mean, it just, the averages when you keep getting base runners like that are that pitchers aren't going to, you know, be able to wiggle out of it each and every time, but we'll see. Of course, the depth of pitching has really been tested this spring with a lot of makeup games worked in for all of these teams.
Yeah, I bet their schedules are pretty compact, and you know, you want to do what you can when you're not able to go outside and you're in the gym, but once those games start hitting, you're playing 3-4 games a week, your pitchers can only go so many innings.
And reaching out and stroking it into left field there is Jolene as he just went with that pitch. And nice flick of the wrist there, knocks it over the shortstop and into left field. So Jolene, his first hit of the game, and he's on for the second time.
Yeah, he wasn't looking to hit it over the fence, and what he did is just push it over to the left side of the infield and hit it high enough to get over the shortstop's head and start the inning off right with runner off first for Osseo.
There you see Landers has had the big blow of the game as he drove one over the center fielder's head for a double. Smokes it at third. It's dropped. And now they're going to get the double play.
I don't think the home umpire called him out. I don't think he called the fly ball out because the third baseman did drop the ball.
And now some discussion. They're telling Osseo runners stay there. Now they're going to have to get together. I thought at first it was caught, but then he did definitely drop it. And they're going to both be out, it looks like.
That's tough.
Tough for the base runner at first there. What are you going to do on that? He thinks it's caught, so he goes back, and then they tag him as he comes off, and oh boy.
Yeah, that's a tough play, and I mean, it's going to be a tough play to argue because it happens so quickly, and that's not something the third baseman does intentionally, but the ball was hit so hard, and he was going to throw it over to first base, but it popped right out of his glove. I mean, it could go either way, and it's.
And there you see the tag, and you know, that's a tough one.
So he actually made it back to tag up, but then he gets tagged out here.
Yeah, he's off the bag right there, and then obviously the hitter has to reach first base, and he never did. He stopped.
So the first baseman does a smart thing and steps on first base.
You really feel for the runner here for Osseo, but at the same time, I think this ultimately is the call you have to make.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the right call, and it's a tough play because it's a bang-bang play, and obviously they don't have the benefit of looking at 4 or 5 different replays that we have, but you know, when it happens like that, you got to make the call and just stick with it.
Well, another thing too that worth pointing out, Drew, is it's not like there's no infield fly rule on the line drive. So even if he were dropping it on purpose, that would be legal.
Yeah, and I think the home plate umpire did the right thing. He pointed fair, didn't say anything. And if you heard him yell out, then obviously everybody would know he's out. But he didn't yell anything. He just pointed fair, and that's what alerted the Spring Lake Park third baseman to throw it over to first base so quickly and get that out.
Yeah, so an unfortunate one for Osseo, but I don't know that you can really argue what the ultimate outcome is, and I don't really think you can fault the runner either. I mean, it's just such a strange play.
Yeah, if you're Spring Lake Park, you just got to be happy that the ball bounced, that break goes your way.
We talked about it in past games too, about how baseball's a funny game. I mean, Landers absolutely smoked that ball, and it ends up being a double play, whereas earlier in the game we saw somebody who hit a tapper that went 5 feet and they get a base hit.
Yeah.
That one is over the inside part of the plate for a strike. So Sonmore trying to get out of the inning, gave up a leadoff single, and then an absolute smash to third that turns into a double play. And this one is hit hard, and that'll be into center field for a base hit. So Klein trying to restart the rally with 2 outs.
Good solid at-bats for Osseo this far this inning. 3 straight batters with solid contact, 3 straight line drives.
Going to have a courtesy runner for Osseo. A.J. Valeri will come on to run for the catcher Klein at first base. And so Jake Contreras will be the hitter now for the Orioles. He's had a productive day so far with a double and then a walk. Pitch in the dirt, but blocked. And lifted out to left field, a little bit of a step back, but then coming in to make the grab there is Bussey. So the Orioles are done in an unusual 4th inning. No runs, couple of base hits, and they leave 1. We go to the bottom of 4. It's 3-1 Osseo.
Hart, what's going on? I'm leaving. Why? What did I do? Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit. Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just please, don't leave. Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
So look at our line score so far here. Osseo, a couple of runs in the second, 1 more in the third. The Panthers got 1 in the second, although as we talked about, both teams have really kind of threatened in almost every inning so far here. So whether we'll stay at this relatively low-scoring game or not, we shall see here in the next few innings. 7, 8, 9 hitters coming up for Spring Lake Park. Zemlicka, Ventrot, and Holm. The scheduled batters as Conrad Kish begins his 4th inning, and this one popped out foul and out of play down over the third base dugout, and sounded like a near miss for a car heading past.
Very lucky, very close.
I always, being a little bit of a car guy, Drew, I always think that when all the fans are cheering for it to hit a car, I'm thinking, no, if that was your own car, would you want that to happen?
Especially when you got a nice car and it's clean and
yeah, and going through the windshield or something like that is not a fun
But I do
thing to have
remember as a
happen.
high school student, you
yeah,
you don't
no
own
doubt.
the car. You're just kind of borrowing it from the parents, and you don't understand the value yet.
Zemlicka took a called 3rd strike in his first time up against Kish. And that one is outside. It's been a kind of an interesting game for Kish. I don't really think you'd say he's been, especially sharp. He's walked 4 hitters, but he's managed to, work 3 innings, allowing only 1 run so far. And that's, the bottom line is he's been able to get outs when he's needed them and get a little defensive help when he's needed it too.
Yeah, and in the positions that he's needed to, he's been able to throw strikes for the most part, and he's been able to get the good support from his defense and get those outs.
3-2 pitch is fouled back here by Zemlicka.
Yeah, every time that happens, it makes me think, man, I would not want to be driving and get my windshield smashed. Yeah. Moving targets like Frogger.
Pounded to short. And nice play there as they throw across in plenty of time. Holeen coming up with that one. It looked interesting. A brand new baseball had been put in play, and it was much whiter than the previous ones there that had been hit.
Yeah, nice generous hop for Holeen there, and comes up with an easy throw over to first base on line to get that first out.
So Ventrot will be the batter here for Spring Lake Park. Had himself a single the first time through. And now ball 2. Three and 0 count now to the Panthers right fielder, with Holm waiting on deck here. And walks him on 4 straight.
Yeah, Kish is, he needs to tweak his mechanics a little bit, I think, throughout the next few weeks if he wants to be a more effective pitcher. He's missed that spot quite a few times this afternoon. On a left-handed hitter, it's on the inside, and on the right-handed hitter, it's on the outside part of the plate. But he's been consistently in that area and down low as well. I think a few tweaks to his mechanics might make him adjust that throw to be more over the plate and across the knees. But here we go again. You got a runner on, and just like every other inning for Spring Lake Park, it's an opportunity. But Kish has been able to work himself out of jams and see if he can keep any more runners off the bases for Spring Lake Park here in the 4th inning.
Holm took a called 3rd strike, his first time to the plate for the Panthers. And looks at strike 1 there. And that went over the plate as well. It's 0-2. Fouls this one out of play.
Dangerous spot for those tennis courts as well.
Yeah, there's a tennis match going on behind the right field line there, and that ball, I think it maybe not on the court, but close to it. Another one popped back foul and out of play. That one hung up high and out of the zone. 1-2 now to Holm. Fritz waiting on deck here for Spring Lake Park. Oh, just got a piece of that one, a foul tip that popped out of the glove of Klein. So Holm able to stay alive. Long look at that one. It's taken 4 ball, 2-2.
That was a good pitch, just outside the outside part of the plate there.
Another foul and out of play here by Holm. A pretty good battle here. Number 9 hitter flicking a few of them out of play, and meanwhile Kish just keeps coming with strikes. And a little soft liner that is just foul.
That was very close.
Boy, it almost looked like it kicked up chalk, but it might have been just dirt. Very hard to tell there. And our bench didn't have much of an angle to see it. Home plate umpire and the catcher really have the best viewpoint of that of any. And
I had a good angle over there.
So it stays at 2-2. And a breaking ball for a called third strike as Holm goes down looking for the second straight time. 2 outs, and Sam Fritz will be the hitter.
Good breaking ball there with 2 strikes. Froze up the batter. Started up high. That was a good 12-6 breaking ball to get that strikeout.
Yeah, and much slower curveball too. Than he's got kind of a couple different ones, and I think Holm probably in the dugout right now seeing that that ball was high, but now that one definitely was up high as Klein had to come leaping out of his crouch there. So Fritz, who's been on twice and is hit by a pitch, and I'm going to wait, make sure it's really hit by a pitch. He was the hitter who was up there earlier that got hit in the arm that they called him back. And this is a hit by a pitch, so.
Is he calling him back? Is he calling him? He can't call him back on that. He's probably telling him he's got to make an attempt to get out of the way, but he doesn't. I mean, he's got a right to sit there in the box. That ball is clearly going to hit him. I think he is calling him back. I think you just said that's not true. I mean, I think even if he does the proper thing and turns his back, he's going to get square in the back.
Runner right at present staying at first, but you'd think you're probably right. Otherwise, what would they be arguing
right,
about?
Yeah, why would he be talking to the coach if...
It's interesting that it was the same hitter too both times.
Yeah. And
I could maybe
pitch.
see it on the first one, but
yeah,
this one is a no-doubter.
He's calling him back. Oh, wait.
Now, John Grubner going to come out and ask. Very interesting why there would have been the long discussion if he was.
The only thing I could think is that the umpire is going to, make recommendations or suggestions on how he should coach his players moving forward. But you know what? That's up to the coach's decision to make, and that's how you get on base. If you watch college baseball, so many batters do that, and they get called back so often. It almost happens once a game.
And I think John Grubner feeling like he had to go out there just to make sure that it doesn't look like Spring Lake Park talked them into that one there a little bit too. Because to me, that one was pretty much a no-doubter. The first one, I could see it maybe a little bit, but.
Yeah, from Grubner's perspective, he has to go out there and ask him, why did you go down and talk to the Spring Lake Park coach if it was a hit batter?
Anyway, Jacob Koltved will step in with runners at first and second, 2 outs for the Panthers, and a bouncer to first. It is foul. Unfortunate one there for Osseo, as Contreras would have had a relatively easy play on that one, it looked like, to get the out, but instead just foul. So Koltved, who had a sacrifice and then bounce one back to the pitcher in that play when Kish made a nice long run over there to take it himself. Missed with that one. It's 1-1. Ooh, foul tip off the catcher, Klein.
So here's Kish again with a chance to get out of a jam without surrendering a run, which he's done a couple times this afternoon already.
Kind of a snail's pace at times here in this one, isn't there? There's always something stepping off and. Missed with that one, then 2-2.
Yeah, they both thought they had that one. I think Coach thought they had that one too. He was jumping out of the dugout to come congratulate everybody, but umpire did not make the call, so you got to make a pitch here.
Tapper to third. Landers the throw. It is high, not in time, and everyone will be safe. So the base is loaded up now for the Panthers.
Tough play there by the third baseman. It's almost like you want to just see if it goes foul. But I think if he makes a good throw, he gets the out. So it looks like he made the right decision. Just didn't execute on the throw.
E5 there. Nice play by Contreras to make that catch there. He obviously couldn't come back down on the bag before the runner got there, but really saved a run by getting up high to get that one. So E5 on Landers, bases loaded. Now Miller will be the hitter for the Panthers, and it looks like we might see a pitching change here for Osseo. They're feeling like they got a pretty effective start by Kish, but has been kind of in and out of trouble for a long time. And they are going to bring in a relief pitcher here as A.J. Valeri will come in to loosen up. So we will take a timeout as Valeri gets set to warm up here. Osseo still leading 3-1, but the Panthers with a big threat going here in the bottom of the fourth. We'll be right back.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
A.J. Valeri taking his warm-up tosses here for Osseo. He comes in a tough spot. Bases full, but 2 outs. And Nathan Miller, the number 3 hitter in the lineup, getting set to bat for Spring Lake Park as they try and bounce back from this 3-1 deficit.
Yeah, big spot here for Spring Lake Park. You want to get a run or two across the plate, but Osseo, all they need to do is get that third out to escape any harm here in the bottom of the fourth inning.
So Miller with a great opportunity here. He's had a fly to center and a fly to left in his first 2 times to the plate. Obviously now with the bases loaded too, Valeri, you got to be around the plate. You don't want to walk in a run. First pitch is driven to center, and it's going to hang up enough to be caught. Wow, Shaw with good positioning there. We saw a couple of those the other way with Spring Lake Park making catches on similar ones. This time it is Osseo getting it done as Shaw with a nice grab. So Spring Lake Park in the 4th inning, no runs, no hits. There was 1 Osseo error, and they will strand 3. It stays 3-1 Orioles.
Play outdoors, have healthier lungs.
Totally.
Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands?
My son has lots of dolls. But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys know statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat. Visit safercar.gov/the-right seat to make sure your child is protected.
Derek Sonmore loosening up for Spring Lake Park as he will be on the hill to start the 5th inning here. Osseo leading at 3-1 as they again wiggle out of some trouble. Bases loaded situation. Valeri coming in, getting the out. It was actually a very well hit ball, but the outfield positioning was good, and Shaw got a good read on it and comes in and makes a nice catch, as you see what Sonmore has done through the first 4 innings.
Yeah, it's a lot of pitches here for through 4 innings, but you know, kept his team within the game thus far, and they had a good chance to put some runs on the board last inning, but a great play by the Osseo center fielder definitely saved the day there in the bottom of the 4th for Osseo.
So Tovin, the DH, will try and get things started here as the Orioles have had the leadoff hitter on twice in the first 4 innings. As we said, both teams really have, you know, definitely had base runners in most innings and multiple base runners in most innings. So the 3-1 score maybe not giving quite an indication that we've had quite a few hits and walks and people on base for various reasons. Hit by pitches, sometimes granted right away and sometimes not. There's a strike on the inner part there to Tovson. And a rip and a miss there. Breaking ball lifted a long way to left field, a long run. Ooh. And it is caught as the outfielders almost crisscrossing out there actually, and Osseo able to make the catch. Again, we talked about they're generally playing the outfielders fairly shallow, and this, you know, in a lot of alignments would have been a relatively routine play, but you see they're both going back and communicated at the end there, and they get the out. A little scary certainly for Spring Lake Park, but they end up making the catch and getting the out, and that's all that counts in the end. So yeah. Andrew Shaw will be the hitter.
Nice job by the center fielder to peel off there and allow the left fielder to make that catch. Tough play when you're both trying to track down a ball to the gap.
Yeah, and that's the thing on an opportunity like that too. You don't want to call if you're not sure you can get it yourself either. So it's usually a little late communication on a play like that. Shaw bouncing one to third. It's juggled. Throw across, not in time. Shaw able to beat it out. So an error with gonna get the runner aboard there as Kaltfed came. It seemed to be a pretty nice tailor-made hop there a little bit. Just a quick juggle and the throw across. Very close play.
Very close play. Good hustle down first base to force the issue. And
ooh, I think he was out.
It looks like yeah.
I thought so with the naked eye, and I think so when I see it again.
I think you're right. I think he did look like he was out.
So Lavin will be the batter. He takes that one high and in. And he skies one out to short center. And Fritz comes on to make the catch for out number 2, and Nelson Lynch will be the hitter.
Easy fly ball there for the center fielder as he starts in pretty shallow and only had to make a few steps inward to track that ball down.
Well, I give credit too to, well, I mean, I guess the whole defense, but in particular the pitcher for not letting them bother him. That you know, may or may not have been an incorrect call at first base, or he just came back and calmly got the next hitter. Nelson Lynch stepping in now for the Orioles. See, he's done good things so far. A single his first time up, and then a sacrifice fly. Runner is going. Pitch is up high. Throw to second. Not going to be in time, as Shaw will swipe second. One hop throw, although it ended up being right on target.
Yeah, it was right there, and it was almost beat the runner there, but second baseman caught it just behind the bag and had to swipe that tag up, which allowed the runner to sneak in there and complete that stolen base.
In on the hands, popped up. Ooh, and
he's over.
Holm going hard into the fence there, but it is out. And
that's good hustle there. That's good hustle. You know, those that ribbon, that plastic ribbon they put on the fence is a huge addition for a safety feature. I had a buddy back in softball catch his arm on one of those, and it did not end up pretty. So it's good that they have those protectors on there. Good hustle by the first baseman.
oh, nice breaking ball there for a strike. Yeah, we couldn't see it as well, you know, initially, and he wasn't quite as close to really flipping over as I thought at first it sounded like, and everybody's kind of oohing and awing over there, but good hustle. Oh, fouled off his foot by Lynch, and that hurt. Foot or lower leg.
Yeah, that sounds like it hurt.
Trainer coming quickly out too.
I don't know if he appreciates the laugh, but that doesn't. He's in pain.
And it was actually the catcher right away who looked at the dugout and, you know, and told the trainer he probably should come out. He's off the ankle. Yeah, I think it was the left ankle, the inside of the ankle bone. That hurts.
Yeah, right in the
maybe
front
it's
of
the shin.
Yeah,
might be
front.
more the shin. And it really
There's
does not look like he's going to be able to continue.
There's a lot of bone there. That's going to hurt.
So Lynch.
He's got a grimace and a smile.
Yeah, he's
okay.
chuckling now. It definitely hurts.
he's got a good pain tolerance there.
So I think we're going to see a pinch hitter come up for him, because he's not going to be able to finish this at bat. So Parker Kramer is going to be the hitter to step in.
Good spot to come in. You got a chance to drive in a run here with a runner on second base, but you got to protect that plate. You got to know the count coming in here, and you got to know you got to have a 2-2 count.
Yeah, that's the tough part, is you don't have any margin for error in terms of, you know, one strike and goodbye. Not something you see really very often, as a guy come in, you know, during the middle of an at bat. And a foul tip held onto, so down on strikes, and the inning comes to an end. So Osseo in the fifth inning, no runs, no hits. There was one error by the Panthers and one left on. We head to the bottom of 5. It's still 3-1 Orioles.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Well, Thomas, you've got prediabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Mickey Zeller stepping in to lead it off for Spring Lake Park as they trail Osseo 3-1. A.J. Valeri, who came on in relief, got the last inning, is back out there on the mound for Osseo. And a bunt dropped down, and it is a good one. Throw to first base, not in time, and Zeller starts the 5th inning with a bunt single for the Panthers, and so they get the leadoff guy aboard, and Sonmore will be the hitter.
Yeah, it was a great bunt down the third base side, and good play by the third baseman. Come up clean, good quick throw, but you know, perfect placement of that bunt and get that leadoff runner on base.
Yeah, you saw Landers was playing back there, and really, if you're able to put the ball where you want to on a bunt, you know that's almost like an easy hit. But here's Sonmore lifting one to short right field, and the catch made. So one gone in the inning, and incidentally, Kramer, who came in to finish that at bat for Osseo after the injury, stayed on as the left fielder replacing Lynch. So he is out in left. Luke Bussey, the batter now for the Panthers. Rip and a miss. And Zeller looked like he was ready to take off there.
Nice job by Valeri there to step off and then make the motion towards second, because you want to make sure you get that ball down there if he is moving down to second base.
Fouled straight back there. And throw to first this time. They have had one pickoff in the game. It actually was from the catcher, Klein, and it was a big one. It got him out of the inning with Spring Lake Park threatening in the third.
Yeah, they had runner on second base as well, and they were able to get that through behind the runner at first and get that out to get out of the inning.
Pounded foul down the third base side. See some activity out in the Panthers bullpen there as they've got Brady out there throwing. Looks like Jacob Kaltbed perhaps loosening up. Maybe he'll be coming into pitch. Ooh, a sharp breaking ball there. And a strikeout. Boy, that was a nasty pitch from Valeri. Gets out number 2.
Yeah, great off-speed pitch. Batter had no chance to make contact on that.
See that thing really dropping off. That one had a tight rotation to it. Tough pitch. Zemlicka will be the batter now for Spring Lake Park. And he fights that one into right field. They think about first, but no chance. He gets a single. Runners at first and second now with 2 outs, and Bentrod will be the batter now for the Panthers.
Good solid swing. Pushed that ball over to the right side of the infield and through that gap at first and second. Move the runner down to second base and see if Osseo can do it again, get out of a little jam and without any damage.
Yeah, we may be seeing either a pinch hitter or a pinch runner. It looks like it might be a pinch hitter coming up here for Spring Lake Park as Jackson Fenn coming to the plate, number 13. So Bentrod had been on twice with a single and a walk, but they feel like Fenn is a a good choice in this spot here as he'll come up with runners at first and second, 2 outs. His team down 3-1. It's been the score for quite some time. Panthers another opportunity. As we said, both teams have had plenty of scoring chances in the game. Pops this one back, foul and out of play. And that one is foul down the right field line. So Valeri, boy, you might want to see him come back with that pitch he gave to Luke Bussey, huh?
Yeah, his fastballs have been pretty straight and down over the plate, so you want to switch it up every once in a while. And with 2 strikes here, you got a chance to throw something a little off the plate.
And a little soft liner there, and Lavin with the catch. And once again, Osseo gets out of trouble. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 left for Spring Lake Park. We've played 5 full now. It is Orioles 3 and Panthers 1 here on CCX. We are at Spring Lake Park High School for Northwest Suburban Conference Baseball. I think our first visit here for baseball, and thanks to the Panthers for allowing us to come over as we get this game in here. We missed an earlier Osseo scheduled broadcast because of the late start to the winter, so glad we could work the Orioles in. It's been a pretty good ball game here, and Osseo will have the 8, 9, and 1 hitters coming up. Hultgren, Holine, and then Lanners, the scheduled batters here as they try and build on a 3-1 lead. And you see the Panthers still have their starter, Derek Sonmore, out there. He's done a solid job again. He's been kind of in and out of trouble, as both teams have been throughout the game, but he's made pitches when he's needed to. He's held them scoreless the last couple innings. And
yeah, the base paths have been very busy for both teams pretty much every inning this afternoon, and fortunately for Osseo, they've been able to avoid too much damage by only giving up the 1 run, but a big hit in the 3rd for Osseo put them up 3-1, and that's where we stand.
So Hultgren stepping in and fouls it down the left field line. The thing I think both teams, can hang their head on a little bit is that they haven't compounded mistakes. If they've had one, they haven't, it hasn't spiraled downhill and led to a really big inning either way.
Yeah, as we were talking earlier in the day, that Osseo, a couple of Osseo losses have been due to that. They've had a couple innings just get out of control and run after run after run, but not today so far.
Outside with that one. We've had a few misplays defensively, but again, for the most part, Spring Lake Park's actually had a little more trouble in the field certainly, but that one low and in, so 3 balls and a strike here to the Orioles right fielder Hultgren. That one is over for a strike, so full count. And a little short looper here. It will hang up enough to be caught. And so out number one recorded there as the grab made there by the new right fielder, Eric Carlson.
Yeah, we've seen Spring Lake Park take away a few of those short pop flies, and they've probably taken away 3 or 4 hits this afternoon from that positioning and playing their infielders so shallow. But that one thus far has come back to haunt them. That may end up being the difference in the game this afternoon.
Yeah, Lanner's hitting a fly ball that burned the fairly shallow center fielder Fritz back in the second inning, 2-run double. But yeah, you're right. They've on the flip side of that, they've had caught probably at least 3 balls that maybe would have dropped in against a lot of alignments. So hard to argue, I guess, either way, in some to a certain extent. Holeen looks at a ball there, 2-1 now. 100th pitch right there from Sonmore. And that one is over for a strike, so 2-2.
A lot of pitches.
And that's a called third strike. So Holeen is caught looking for out number 2, and Lanners will step up now for the Orioles. And he's been right on it today. Lanners line out to left, then that long double. And
it's a tough pitch.
Yeah, you normally tell your guys, you got to be swinging if it's close, but
yeah,
I couldn't fault him. If you're Coach Grubner or watching the film or whatever on that one, I don't know. So, and then Lanners was involved in an unusual play in the 4th inning as he hit a rocket at the third baseman. Looked like it was going to be a line out. He dropped the ball, then threw across to first, and the runner, Holeen, was kind of caught in no man's land. It ended up being a double play.
Yeah, he's hit the ball really well this afternoon. And that play was very unfortunate for Osseo, but it was a bang-bang play, and the umpire made the decision and made the call that the third baseman didn't catch the ball cleanly and threw it over to first.
Well, the more when we looked at it again, kind of thinking about it in between innings, is whether he had ended up ruling, whether that was a catch or not, the base runner came off the base, he would have been tagged out regardless of whether it was a line out or whether it wasn't. So it was a confusing looking one, but I think they ultimately got it right.
Yeah, it's a very tough play to coach for until you experience the situation. It's hard to explain, but if you're a runner in that position, you almost want to just stay in the base until some call is made.
And Lanners will work out a 2-out walk. And so Klein will be the hitter now for Osseo. Klein 1 hit and 3 trips, the young catcher. Lanners, I think, runs relatively well out there. It would be interesting to see if Osseo has some thought of trying to steal him into scoring position and let Klein try and drive him in. Not moving on the first pitch, and is taken for a ball. And this one driven out to center field. Fritz has it measured, and he will make the catch, and the Orioles are done in the 6th inning. No runs, no hits, and they leave 1 aboard. We go to the bottom of 6. It's 3-1 Osseo.
What makes your community feel like home? Is it knowing what's happening in your neighborhood, or when people know your name? Connections make us a community. For more than 30 years, Northwest Community Television has connected citizens, neighbors, even sports fans through video. As life gets busier than ever, we will still offer you a connected community experience through CCX Media, so you can stay connected to the place you call home.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
A.J. Valeri completing his warm-up tosses for Osseo here as we head to the bottom half of inning number 6. The 9, 1, and 2 spots coming up for Spring Lake Park. I think we're going to see a pinch hitter to start the inning, as it looks like John Carlson, number 18, will bat for home, who has struck out twice. Valeri got the last out of the 4th inning on a line out to center, and then he gave up a bunt single and then another hit, but got out of the 5th with no runs allowed. He's come in shooting strikes pretty well for the most part, as there you see John Carlson getting set to bat.
Yeah, Valeri's come in, worked pretty quickly, and been throwing strikes consistently. Good solid relief appearance for him.
And first pitch taken up high for a ball by Carlson. Top of the order will follow Carlson to the plate here, so they'd love to get him on to try and get this inning started here, but a swing and a miss at that one. It's 1-1. Rip and a miss. Ball and 2 strikes now. Valeri has fanned 1 so far. Make it 2. Throws the fastball by him there. And looking smooth and confident to start the 6th as he gets the strikeout, and Sam Fritz will be the batter now for the Panthers.
Yeah, throwing strikes right over the plate, making the batter swing the bat, and fortunately for him, he's making a miss.
That one taken just low for a ball, as Fritz has been on. See, single, and then he appeared to be hit by a pitch the second time. They called him back to the plate for saying that he, thrust his arm out into it and ended up walking anyway. And then in the 4th, he was hit by a pitch again, and there was some more discussion about whether it was legit or not. There's a strike.
Yeah, he's doing anything he can to get on base, which is what you want your leadoff hitter to do. And for Spring Lake Park, they need to get some runners on base to get him in position to tie this game.
And he will draw a 1-out walk. So Kaltved will step up here for Spring Lake Park. They got to be thinking, we need to string a little more together. We've gotten runners, one at a time, or we've got one and then an out. Yeah, looks like Kaltved might be called back and may not be going to hit here.
Interesting to have a pinch hitter this high up in the order. Usually your 2 hitter is a pretty solid hitter, but you want to give players a chance and see what they can bring to the plate. Looks like that's what Spring Lake Park's doing here.
So it looks like it'll be Rumpka who will step up to bat. He's been in the game as a courtesy runner earlier. So Rumpka hitting, and obviously with the fact that there's 1 out instead of 0 makes this a little different situation too. You know, I don't think there's really much to be looking at in terms of bunting him over or anything like that, and obviously 2-run game too, but even more so obviously with that 1 out, Osseo would be more than happy to just take an out here if they wanted to give up an out to move a runner along. You know, maybe I'm wrong. Here's his bunt. Oh, they're going to go to second and get the out. Throw to first base, not in time. Bit of a gamble there by Valeri, but he does get the lead runner. So not only do they get an out, they also don't get the runner down to second.
Yeah, great play there by Valeri to come up cleanly. Good, solid throw down to second base. Just beats the runner, hustling down to second base. But yeah, interesting decision there to try and sacrifice bunt the runner down to second base when you're down 2, and you haven't had many chances to score. You've had runners, but not a lot of scoring chances really.
Miller a swing and a miss at a fastball, so it goes doubly wrong there for Spring Lake Park as they get 1 out, but it's also the lead guy, and good confidence by Valeri to, I'm sure he was getting instruction from probably his catcher, maybe other infielders too, that there was a play to be made at second. I thought at first, to be honest with you, that he was making a mistake by not going just right to first, but he made a good strong throw and got the runner without too much difficulty at second.
Yeah, I think the book and traditionalists would say you definitely take the easy, safe out at first base and concede that runner down to second base to get your second out. But sometimes at this level you take risks, unorthodox, uncharacteristic risks like that. And
runner is going, and he might have a chance. I don't know. He went in for a dive. He didn't see that the pitch was in the dirt into the backstop. So Rumpka will get a stolen base out of it, but he possibly, if he were looking, could have had third. You see, he doesn't look in at all. This ball went to the backstop, and he dives into second.
Yeah, that's something you'll learn as you progress through your baseball career. You got to take a peek in. So if you see the balls in the dirt, you can round that base and take a look at third base in that situation.
Yeah, I'm not saying he would have made it for sure, but obviously he took away any possibility of that by diving in.
You would assume he's one of the faster guys in the teams as a courtesy runner earlier in the game. But in the end, he ends up at second base with a stolen base.
Valeria will step off here, 2-2 count, and I don't mean to say that run doesn't matter at all, but if you're the pitcher right now, the hitter is really all you have to worry about. It's not the tying run even. It's, you still got a 2-run lead out there. Drilled out to center field, and this one is deep. And it's to the base of the fence. A run will score. Miller is going to hang on with a double, and it is 3-2. And there's that big hit that Spring Lake Park has been looking for, as Nathan Miller tagging it a long way to center. Thought there was a possibility this one might get out. Instead, it lands a few feet short of the fence and played on a bounce there by Shaw.
Yeah, it's definitely the hardest hit ball we've seen this afternoon, and ends up with a RBI double with 2 outs, and he had 2 strikes on him too.
Mickey Zeller stepping in. And Valeri looked like he slipped a little bit as he delivered that one. Fortunately for him, it wasn't terribly far out of the strike zone, so 1-0. See a couple of hits already for Zeller. Last time was a bunt single after he had doubled in the third. It's almost in a way a guy you might kind of be thinking about pitching around a little bit if you're Osseo here, but at the same time you don't necessarily want to put the go-ahead run on base. But I think that might be the discussion, especially after they fell behind him right here. I don't think Coach Grebner wants to give Zeller anything too great to hit here.
Yeah, and those first 2 pitches were way up in the zone, something that usually is a sign that the pitcher's trying to overthrow and not even getting the pitch close to the zone. So I think you're right, Jay. You might want to make that call and say, hey, let's walk this guy. And because, again, it sets up a force out at any base. And then you can start with a fresh count on the next batter.
Especially with the success that Zeller's had today, too.
Looks like they're going to pitch to him.
And he hits this ball well out to right center field, and that will be down for a hit. It bounces over the fence, and we will have a tie ball game here as Zeller knocks in Miller with a ground rule double. And the Panthers coming up with a solid 6th inning, back-to-back well-hit balls. You kind of like the fact, too, that they earned it with strong hits, too. You know, you don't, if somebody's going to tie the game up, you don't really want to see it to be on an error and a wild pitch or whatever. These are nice back-to-back gappers.
Yeah, we've seen the ball. We've seen a lot of base runners, but not a lot of hard-hit balls throughout the game this afternoon. But here for Spring Lake Park in the bottom of the 6th, they put together a few solid hits and back-to-back and tied this game up.
Derek Sonmore, the hitter, and takes a strike. He's had a couple of walks and a flyout, so the complexion of this one changes in a hurry. Osseo's been protecting a 2-run lead for a long time, but now in the bottom of the 6th, Panthers tie it up. They have the potential go-ahead run at second. And up high for a ball there. And that one misses high as well. 2 balls and a strike here. Oof, had a healthy cut but missed it. 2-2.
Yeah, it's tough to get those balls that high up in the zone on a fastball. That he made contact, that would have been a hard hit ball. Uh-oh.
And drilled to right field. Just foul. Oh, so close for the Panthers there. Sonmore really jumping on that one, but
yeah, that's foul. Again, Osseo 1 pitch away, 1 strike away from getting out of this. But Spring Lake Park's been hitting the ball well this inning.
Sonmore fouling it back. The battle continues. Laid off that one up and out of the zone, so the count runs full now to Sonmore. And ball 4 up high. Sonmore, 3rd walk of the game, so 1st and 2nd now. And Luke Bussey will be the batter here for Spring Lake Park. And that one's high and out of the zone.
Blair's been up in the zone quite a bit this inning. You want to see him focus in and gain that control, regain that control, and get it down towards the knees.
Yeah, he was, when he first came in, he was consistently working low in the zone. And this one is popped to short center. Long run, and the catch made there by Shaw as he stays with it. But the Panthers break through to tie things up. Couple of runs in the inning on the 2 big doubles, and they'll leave a couple on in the 6th. We've played 6 full. It is Osseo 3 and Spring Lake Park 3 here on CCX.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Welcome back. Jacob Kultvedt moving over from third base to the mound now for Spring Lake Park after the starter Sonmore goes 6th. Sonmore does stay in the game at third base, so they just trade spots here. Osseo will have the 3, 4, 5 hitters coming up in the top of the 7th. That's the good news. The bad news is, though, that they have seen a lead slip away. They were up 3-1, and the Panthers getting 2 in the bottom of the 6th. So we are at 3-3 here heading to this 7th inning.
Yeah, important for Osseo to put that behind them and get runners on base here. You've had a tough start to the season. You haven't won a game yet, and you're that close to pulling off your first victory of the season. But don't let that ruin your day. Focus in and put the bat on the ball and get some hits.
Contreras will lead it off. He had a double his very first time up, then a walk, and then a fly to left. So here we go as Kultvedt delivers the first pitch of the 7th inning, and it is taken for a ball by Contreras. Just missed there, 2-0.
I was just off the plate, pretty close. Catcher wanted it, but umpire did not agree with him.
And that one definitely down, 3-0 now. Can be a little tough coming in relief. You've been in the game over at third, but you come in a kind of a pressure spot. I mean, if you're starting the game and you walk the first guy, nobody thinks much of it, but in the 7th inning, it could be pretty big, and that's exactly what happens here is Contreras patient and works out a walk here. So Tovson will be the batter here for Osseo.
Interesting to see what Osseo does here with their cleanup hitter and a runner on first. I'd be surprised to see him sacrifice, but you want to do what you can to get that runner down to second base in a scoring position. Usually cleanup hitters aren't known for their tactical bunting skills, but we'll see what happens.
He is squaring, and Contreras bluffing as if he were going to take off. It's taken for a ball. Thing is, here too, if you're Tovson, even if you are asked to bunt, you still want to be bunting a strike, or at least something very close that you can handle rather than helping the defense out. And again, he takes it for ball 2, so good thing. You know, you don't know for sure if he's intending to bunt. It could be a bluff, but either way, he's doing the right thing by taking it if it's a ball. You see that fairly often where the defense gets kind of flustered and they end up not being able to throw strikes when a guy is squaring to bunt. That one was a strike.
Yeah, the motion of the batter scoring around a bunt can easily distract the pitcher, and even if you get the take sign, sometimes you see batters square around and act like they're bunting just to create the distraction. But it does look like he's trying to lay down the bunt, so we'll see what happens here with the strike on him now.
Not bunting that time. He takes ball 3 inside.
Good hitters count here. See if they put the runner in motion. I don't think they would, but you never know.
Bunt back on, and he fouls it away. So now full count here to Tovson. Not what Osseo wanted right there. It did appear to be a strike. That's a good thing. He didn't chase one.
Okay, you want to put the ball in play here. You don't want to strike out.
And he strikes out. Couldn't hold up on a pitch on the inner part. And a half swing there, and Tovin down on strikes. Andrew Shaw will be the batter here for Osseo. And Kaltbed gets a little chest pump there from his catcher, like, yeah, nice pitch. He really tied him up inside there.
Yeah, that ball seemed to be actually breaking in, and I think he was anticipating it to be a curveball from the speed, the velocity of it, but it seemed to be breaking in on the hands, and that was a tough pitch to try and hit.
So Osseo unable to get the runner over, at least yet here. Shaw looks at a first pitch strike. Had a couple of strikeouts, and then last time up reached on an error. Every at bat becomes a key one from here on, really, for both these teams. Squaring to bunt and pushes it foul down the first baseline. That might be more bunting for a hit there.
Yeah.
I will say this too, though, Osseo. I mean, they've had a lot of guys who haven't really had real big years with the bat, so I don't think there's that many guys that you'd say, like, absolutely you got to let him swing no matter what. You got to try and manufacture a run any way you can here. Fastball off the outside part of the plate for ball. Yeah, that one got away from Colton a little bit. It's up and in, 2-2 now. And that one misses as well now, so count running full here to Shaw. Lavin waiting on deck for Osseo.
Be interested to see if they put the runner in motion here with the full count.
Boy, I would think so in this spot.
I would think so too, and hope for a ball towards the gap, and that runner from first can hustle all the way around.
Not going, and it's in the dirt, and a walk drawn by Shaw. So first and second with one out now for the Orioles as Lavin gets set to hit.
Runner
Looks at strike one.
Runner down at second is getting a pretty aggressive lead. See if they try and throw it down there to keep him close, because you don't want that. You don't want him getting too far off, so an easy run comes across on a base hit.
And that one's in the dirt, and it's going to move the runners up. No real chance for Zeller on that one, as that pitch skipping wide of the plate. So second and third now with one out. Just gripped that one pretty tight, and it got away from him. And now Spring Lake Park's going to have a little mound conference here. Probably going to have to bring the infield in, you would think.
Yeah, you'd think they'd bring the infield in to cut off that run at home with one out. And you don't want to talk through all the scenarios here. If it's hit to first, what do you do? If it's hit to second, what do you do? If it's hit softly, you got to talk through all the scenarios so everybody knows what you're doing on this and everybody's on the same page. So a big spot here for Osseo, and the odds are, as long as you don't strike out, I think you're in a good spot if you're Osseo. You just want to make sure you put the ball in play and swing at good pitches. You don't want to waste a swing.
Long conference, and I think from what we can tell, the umpire, the umpire had to, base umpire had to go visit the facilities, and sometimes you get to a point when you just can't wait anymore. And
you made it back. Game on.
So the infield is, in fact, in for Spring Lake Park here, which obviously makes the most sense. You just can't afford to concede that go-ahead run, even though it wouldn't be, game over since it's the top of the inning, but still. So Tim Lavin, a great chance here to try and poke one through and bring in a run or two. He's going to square to bunt, and the squeeze will be successful.
Second run's coming in.
Flip to first, and both runs will score. Lavin is out, but boy, does he do the job in a big way, as not only does Contreras score, but Shaw comes around from second as well. And Osseo now up 5-3.
Big play for Osseo there. That was perfectly executed bunt after the failed attempts earlier in the inning. They lay down the suicide squeeze. They get the out at first, but that runner was chucking around third base all the way. Once that ball was put into play, I think he had the mentality that he was going to try and score.
So Parker Kramer is the hitter. Kramer came in to replace Nelson Lynch when Lynch fouled one off his lower leg, and Kramer strokes it to left, and that'll be in for a base hit. So the rally isn't necessarily over for Osseo just yet, as Kramer delivers a two-out single, and Walker Hultgren will be the batter now for the Orioles.
Good solid single to the left side of the infield, not hit too hard, but just in front of the left fielder, who again is playing very shallow, but that ball perfectly placed to get the two-out single here.
Hultgren 0 for 3 this afternoon, and fouls that one, slicing away toward that fence down the left field line. So Osseo coming through with the squeeze bunt, and then when Spring Lake Park took the out at first, they never hesitated. That's a gutsy one. If it doesn't work out, it can look bad, but running hard all the way was Shaw. Never hesitated and came all. Once they made that throw to first, he was just going to keep on coming. And to be honest, it wasn't even a very close play at home. I mean, yeah, the throw kind of got away, but it still was not going to be nearly enough for an out. This one might be playable, and it is, as Sonmore gets over there to grab it in foul territory. But the damage is done. Osseo gets 2 runs to go back in front. 2 runs on 1 base hit, and they'll leave 1. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Osseo 5, Spring Lake Park 3.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat?
1 in 5 children struggles with hunger in America. Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Pretty entertaining ball game here at Spring Lake Park. Getting chilly as we wind down toward the end. Bottom of the 7th, and Osseo once again a 2-run lead after Spring Lake Park had rallied back to tie it up at 3-3 in the bottom of the 6th. New pitcher for Osseo as Cade Wiles will come on now to try and close things down for the Orioles. As it did, kind of appear that they were starting to figure Valeri out a little bit more. And so they'll turn to Wiles to try and close it down.
Yeah, Valeri, the first time through the order, he was throwing straight and accurate right over the plate, but I think he was throwing it over the plate a little bit too consistently, and Spring Lake Park got a little comfortable up at the plate and ripped together a couple doubles to tie the game up last inning.
Eric Carlson will lead off the 7th for the Panthers. First pitch taken up high for a ball. And there's a fastball in for a strike.
It's always good to get that first strike under your belt because it builds that confidence. And you're coming in with a little bit of pressure on you. You're up 2 runs here in the bottom of the 7th, trying to get your first win of the season for the team.
And a little soft liner. That one's going to be through. Evan not quite able to get there, and Carlson starts the 7th with a single. And sometimes you see in games like this where the floodgates kind of open, where once the teams start to break through and score, you see the other ones answer back. And kind of seen that a little bit already in Spring Lake Park, hoping that trend can continue.
Yeah, just out of the reach of the second baseman. He almost had it, but just a step behind the ball, and it gets into center field for a leadoff single.
Jackson Fenn is the hitter, bouncing one to the left side, and that one is going to be through for a hit as well. Perfectly placed between third and short, and Fenn is aboard, so the potential tying run at first base, first and second, nobody out now. And John Carlson will be the batter here for Spring Lake Park.
Yeah, another ball just out the reach of the infielder, just couldn't get over there. Even if he does make the stop, I don't think he has a play either at first or second. But
Osseo is going to have a defensive conference here.
It'd be interesting to see what Spring Lake Park decides to do here. It was similar situations to what Osseo was in earlier in this inning. But with the runners on first and second, down 2, you would expect them to sacrifice bunt, but you never know.
Yeah, I think that's what Osseo has got to be discussing right here now, to more so defensively than anything.
You got to get that first out. You got to get it out. If they lay down a sacrifice bunt, don't try and turn 2. Don't, if you get the out at third, great. If you get the out at second, great. But you want to make sure you get at least 1 out if they do lay down that sacrifice bunt.
Yeah, and the scenario is just slightly different, the fact that it's a 2-run game rather than 1-run game. I mean, I think, you know, it'd be a no-doubter that you would bunt for sure if it was a 1-run game. Makes it a little bit different if it's 2.
Yeah.
See, Carlson has been to the plate once and he struck out. The 9 spot in the order for the Panthers has struck out every time up. So another reason that you might be more likely to see, but we'll see how it works out. Takes a first pitch fastball for a strike. Was not showing bunt at all there. It doesn't necessarily mean we won't still see it, obviously, but and that one misses, 1-1. And this one gets away and the runners are going to move up, so they won't need to really think about bunting anymore probably there, as that pitch inside. And another look here.
Yeah, it's a tough ball to catch. You're positioned right over the plate, and that ball's way inside. Catcher had very little chance to catch that one.
Yeah, it hit his glove, but I'm still going to go wild pitch. It was far enough away that a reasonable, normal effort, I don't think, catches that ball. So second and third now for Carlson. Corner infielders up for Osseo. And it's a little dribbler. They will take the out at first. A run scores, and now a 5-4 ball game. And the potential tying run down to third now as Fenn moves up. Smart play by Osseo here. I mean, at this point, that's the play you've got to make.
Yeah.
Fritz getting set to bat. 1 out, runner at third, 5-4 game now.
Infield's coming in.
You see some activity as Tovson loosening up in the bullpen. Fritz jumping on the first pitch, fouls it away. Ooh, sharp breaking ball for a strike.
Caught Fritz off guard there. He wasn't expecting that curveball, and it broke.
I can tell you this, I would not have hit that one either. That was a
good pitch.
Nice pitch. Comes back, fastball knocked up the middle for a base hit, and the Panthers will tie it up. Fritz driving in Fenn, and it's 5-5. Those last outs can be the toughest ones to get.
Yeah, tough. I mean, if you're Spring Lake Park, that's what you want. You want your leadoff hitter at the plate in a key part of the game, and now you expect to see him kind of be aggressive on the base paths. And after that game-tying single there,
Coltbud will be the batter, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they try and get Fritz started. He certainly seems like a guy who can really run. He is going, and it's ball bunted at.
Foul ball, just called strike.
Now the home plate umpire initial signal ruling that the ball was bunted at but not fouled, and Osseo bench feeling strongly otherwise, and they're going to have to check with the base umpire. As for now, Fritz is moved up to second.
Staring contest between the ump and the coach there, and I don't think he got it. I think the sound that they heard was the ball hitting the knee pads, shin pads of the catcher.
I'll be honest, I couldn't tell. I could not tell.
I don't know. That's tough. Yeah, I think the sound that we heard was the ball hitting the shin pads. And again, they don't have the benefit of looking at these replays, so that's tough. I mean, you're not going to overturn this call. But if you're out there discussing this, you just want to make sure that you share your opinion.
And if you're Osseo, I mean, the most you can ask is that he check with the base umpire, and he did.
Yep. And for Spring Lake Park, you're still in a position where you want to keep that, you're still probably laying down a sacrifice bunt here.
Might be able to see better from the center field angle. I don't think so either. It's hard to tell though.
Oh, it hits the umpire's shin pad. That's the sound you hear. Wow.
What Osseo was saying right away was that the ball went downward.
Deflected, yeah. He's saying that the ball deflected, so how did it hit your shin pad like that?
You ready to go now? Okay. Get a jacket on.
One more twist and turn in a game that's kind of been full of them here. See this from the center field shot. It does not look like he hit it to me.
I don't think he did.
Ball was really tailing inward toward.
It hits the shin pad of the umpire.
I know.
Yeah, it's a tough break.
That's not what Osseo wants to hear, and maybe,
Right.
But it looks as though it probably did not hit the bat. That's my uneducated guess there. Either way, they're going to leave the runner at second, and umpire to his credit. I mean, he let coach, have his say there, but they're not going to change it at that point. And that one misses away. And this one fouled off Klein. And he is shaken up.
I think it caught him in the knee. The gap of that shin pad. Either that or caught him on the inside of the knee.
See this one fouled. Yeah, hard to tell, but definitely on that left knee, whether it was right on the kneecap or right above it. And certainly, yeah, you've got shin guards, but that's not, 100% that it's still going to, depending on where it hits you, it may still very well hurt quite a bit.
Yeah, because it's right in that gap where those top two pads kind of separate.
Well, yeah, and you've got to have some flexibility to be able to crouch, and that's where it kind of looked like it might have hit him right on the kneecap. And Osseo couldn't resist suggesting that was basically what happened on the previous play too, and the umpire didn't appreciate it.
Yeah, they just wanted to make sure that they knew that was a foul ball.
Well, we saw a hitter for Osseo have to come out after fouling one off his leg. It looks as though catcher Klein is going to try and stay in there. The problem too, though, is you got to keep crouching, and that's exactly. I mean, that's what's going to hurt the most right now is having to flex that knee a lot. But catchers are tough. The biggest thing you want to check for, I'm sure, is just stability of it right now to make sure.
You don't want some minor, simple play that he would make every other time without an injury, come to be the difference in the game-winning run for Spring Lake Park.
So Kaltvedt back in there. 5-5 ball game. Panthers have scored twice. They have the potential winning run at second base with one out, but a 1-2 count. And that one's up high and out of the zone. And that one missed down and in, so full count now to Kaltvedt.
It's interesting. The middle infielders are doing a good job trying to hold the runner on second base, but the shortstop's paying a lot of attention to the runner, and he's leaving a big gap over there on the left side of that infield.
And a swing and a miss, and Kaltvedt down on strikes. Big K there for Wiles. And Miller will be the hitter now for Spring Lake Park. And a defensive swing there as he got one out away from him a little bit. So Miller, who had a big double last time up, to drive in the 4th run, and they are going to walk him.
That's the right play to create the force out, because that run does not matter.
And Mickey Zeller, though, who also doubled last time up. It doesn't get a lot easier with him in there for sure. In fact, he's 3 for 4. Starts him with a sharp breaking ball for a strike.
Nice breaking ball.
And strike 2.
2 great breaking balls to start off this at bat.
And this one will get away, and the runners move up. Klein not able to catch that one. I think we'll say pass ball that time. And so Klein kind of hobbling back there after taking that one fouled off his knee.
Best hitter too.
Wiles trying to get out of trouble here. Zeller like to put it in play and try and get him that winning run in. And that one hangs up high.
You kind of be curious to see why they don't just walk him now. But with 2 strikes, it's kind of hard to give up that.
To second. Lavin up with it. Throw to first base is just in time, and so the Orioles get out of the inning, keep the game going, but Spring Lake Park battles back to tie it up. 2 runs on 3 hits, and they leave 1 in the 7th. We'll go extras here. It's Osseo 5 and Spring Lake Park 5 here on CCX.
Doesn't see race. Love is love.
Seven innings not enough to decide this one, as each team getting a couple of runs in the 7th. Osseo had gone back in front 5-3, but the Panthers fight back and tie it up, but then Osseo gets out of trouble with that ground out with the potential winning run at 3rd. So in the 8th inning, it'll be the 9-1 and 2 spots for Osseo, as you see Kaltvedt back on the mound. He came in to pitch the 7th, and they touched him for a couple of runs. He had a little control trouble. 2 guys walked, and they both scored on that scintillating sacrifice or squeeze bunt. 1 run scored, and when they took the out at first base, the runner from second kept on motoring around, and Andrew Shaw scored as well for Osseo, and it seemed like it might be their game to have at that point at 5-3, but credit the Panthers, they came back, tied it up in the bottom of the 7th. So Holine stepping in, he is 1 for 3. Fouls this one out of play. That one misses from Coltfed, so 1-1. And that one's outside, 2 balls and a strike. And a cut and a miss, so 2-2. Coltfed coming back with a big pitch there. Holine trying to just lift that ball to left like he did last time, or excuse me, in the 4th inning. And this one will be fouled on the 3rd base line. Two count to the leadoff hitter, Holine, here in the top of the 8th. Just got a piece of that one. Back up the middle, and no chance for a play there. It'll be a base hit for Holine. Actually cut off by the 2nd baseman there, but at that point, no way they're going to get an out, so the leadoff man is on for Osseo here in the 8th. They were able to make it happen with getting the leadoff hitter on in the 7th, and see, once it got past the mound, there wasn't really much of a chance anymore.
Yeah, there's no chance you're going to make that play, and interesting, the 2nd baseman was able to get it, but that ball wasn't hit that hard. It was just hitting a perfect spot where neither infielder could field it in a spot to make a throw over to first base in time.
Lanner's the hitter now for Osseo, and the pitch outside as he did square. And I was almost thinking you kind of hate to take the bat out of his hands the way he's been swinging it today, but at the same time, you know, situation probably does call for a sacrifice here. We'll see. Is squaring, and again takes it for a ball. This time a strike.
Yeah, that was a good pitch to bunt there, but he didn't want to offer at it.
And it makes you wonder if maybe that means they weren't, you know, really intending to sacrifice there, that they're just going to square until they see a strike, but we'll see. Lanners is swinging away, drives it to center, and having to drift back was Fritz. But he makes the catch. Again, all game long, they've been playing the outfielders relatively shallow, mostly with good results for them. But earlier, Lanners drove one over Fritz's head. This time, almost got it done with the line drive. But Fritz, you see, he started to come in, and then it was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, he took a couple steps in and then realized he had to take a couple steps back to get in position, and he did just in time.
John Klein will be the batter. Runner at first, 1 out now. Klein is squaring and takes that one for a ball. Although it ends up in a line out, I don't think you can fault Osseo's logic there, though, and giving Lanners an opportunity to drive one.
Yeah, I think that's a great call. He's one of your best hitters, and you know, maybe you're just squaring around to get the infielders in, because that third baseman's playing way in, and if you put something on the left side, he doesn't have much opportunity to move.
There's a strike. Keep in mind, Klein, you'd have to question how quickly he's going to be able to run down the line after, while he was playing catcher last inning, taking a foul ball right off the knee that really had him shaken up. Long look down at Coach Grubner there. We'll see what they have in mind here. He is squaring, and it's a very good bunt. Flip to first is dug out. Oh boy, Jackson Fenn made a nice play to scoop that one. So they get the out, but they do move the potential go-ahead run down to second, and this one was an ideal bunt.
Yeah, great bunt, just down the first baseline. And a good scoop by the second baseman to get the out.
Boy, that could have been real trouble if that one skips by him there. You see the pick right there out of the dirt. Oof, that was very nice by Fenn. Contreras will be the hitter now for Osseo, but he's not going to be allowed to swing the bat. They're going to walk him. So Andrew Tovin will be the batter here. First and second, 2 outs for the Orioles. Top of the 8th. Tie ball game, 5-5. And slices it out to right field. It'll be down for a hit. They're going to send the runner. No, he's going to be held. Oh. And it'll come bouncing in. So Olin held at third base. Base is loaded up here for Osseo.
Another benefit of those those outfielders playing that shallow is that they don't have to come in too far to get that ball. But that throw wasn't that strong, so you kind of wonder if they made the right decision there.
Yeah, at that point I was almost thinking, like, make them make a play here, even if it's looking like it's going to be tough to score them. And we're going to see a relief pitcher, looks like, for Spring Lake Park. So Osseo loading the bases here. 2 outs. And we are going to see a pitching change for the Panthers. Going to do some shuffling around here with other, probably going to keep Coltvedt in the game somewhere, it looks like. So it looks like it'll be Avery Bentrott coming back into the game to go to the mound for Spring Lake Park. We'll take a timeout as he warms up and come back with more baseball here from Spring Lake Park.
The color in my garden keeps the pink in my cheeks. I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels. They're my savior. My name is Lola Silvestri. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
Avery Bentrott coming in to try and get out of trouble here for Spring Lake Park. Osseo has the bases full here in inning number 8. 2 outs. And Andrew Shaw will be the hitter for the Orioles. Been a wild one here. Both teams obviously have had, kind of tough seasons and going back and forth. You can see how much it means. I mean, they're pulling all the stops. They're making all the moves you need to make to try and win this game. And it's going to be kind of a heartbreaker for whatever team doesn't win it, but it's going to be pretty thrilling for whichever team does. Osseo trying to go back in front. They scored a pair in the top of the 7th to take the lead, and only to see Spring Lake Park tie it up in the bottom of the 7th. But now here's Shaw stepping in. First pitch is taken for a strike.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in the game, you're trying to do anything. It wouldn't matter if you're 10-0 or 0-10. You want to do what you can to eke out this game because it's been such a close game throughout.
That one is up high. One thing that makes it a little nerve-wracking here is you can't really afford to throw a wild pitch or anything in this spot either. So, of course, the good thing if you're Spring Lake Park is that you're the home team, so the game doesn't end if a run scores. And here's a liner to right field, and that is going to score one, and they'll hold the second runner. So Osseo back in front now, 6-5. Andrew Shaw coming through with a solid line drive single to right.
Gives a good solid wave to the bench and celebrates that go-ahead RBI single. Yeah, again, not trying to put the ball over the fence, just put the ball in play and a good solid line drive to the right side. It falls just in front of the right fielder. Drives in the go-ahead run.
Holeen scoring, and now Tim Lavin will be the hitter. Bases still loaded up. Takes a strike, and I think probably a little sigh of relief for John Grubner at third.
Yes,
he
definitely.
He elected not to send the runner on a previous play, and now Holeen ends up scoring anyway, so it's kind of like that decision pressure is off now, I think. And here's Lavin hitting it to right, but it'll hang up and be caught. But Osseo does go back in front here in the top of the 8th as they come up with a run on 3 base hits and strand a couple. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Osseo 6, Spring Lake Park 5.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, "Read your lease. No pets allowed." My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
Race. Love is love.
Welcome back here to Spring Lake Park. Back and forth we go. Osseo retakes the lead in the top of the 8th inning with a run. They lead 6-5 heading to the bottom of inning number 8. Along with Drew Keogh, MJ Wilcox, and I hope you've enjoyed this one. A couple of teams that we said haven't won a lot. Osseo, in fact, not at all. But they've put in good effort, both teams here, and played pretty well. And every time there's been a little bit of a rally by one, the other has been able to answer it here in the late innings. And Andrew Tovson coming on now to pitch, as he will be the 4th pitcher of the game for Osseo and try and close things down. He'll see the middle part of the order, the 5, 6, 7 spots due here as Derek Sonmore will get set to lead it off.
Yeah, been a fun game this afternoon. It's not many errors, pretty clean baseball, some wild pitches, a few walks here and there, but a lot of base runners. And 6-5, fairly low scoring for the amount of base runners we've had this afternoon. Now it's become evening, but been a fun game back and forth, and Osseo hasn't really been in too much danger throughout the game, but they had a chance to win, and Spring Lake Park put together a few big hits late in the game to tie it up and send it to extras. So now here Osseo is 3 outs away from, putting up their first win of the season. See if they can close out the game.
Derek Sonmore getting set to bat here. He's been on 3 times via the walk. Swinging here and fouls it straight back. There's a strike, 1-2. Driven a long way, but foul down the left field line, up onto the roof of the shed out there. Or that's a little big. Maybe I can't call that a shed. The building there, outbuilding.
Yeah, there's a nice storage facility out there.
Way up high with that one, so 2-2 here. Just got a piece of that one. To right field, and it's going to get past. This one might get all the way to the fence, and Sonmore is going to dig for third. Here comes the throw, and in there safely is Sonmore. So give him a single, and then an E9 allows him to advance all the way around to third. Wasn't played. It was kind of an in-between. Do I come in hard? Do I stop? And it ended up not working out so well. It looked like it might have taken a little bit of a bad hop, too, there on Hultgren.
Yeah, it's some thick grass out there, and definitely took a tough hop on him. He was looking to come in and make a play, and he heard somebody else make a play, but then he decided to pull up at the last second, and the ball scooted by him.
You see Landers didn't quite hang on to it at third anyway. I don't think he was going to be out, but it would have been close at least. Now pounded to third. They'll come home. Here's the throw, and it is in time. So Spring Lake Park going on contact there with Sonmore, and Landers comes up throwing. Klein slaps the tag on, and so they keep the lead.
Great execution here by Osseo. I think that's the only position that you don't want to run on. If the ball's hit anywhere else, you go, but if it's hit to third, you can't go because that ball's right in front of you. Yeah, he had no chance.
So Eric Carlson will be the hitter. Bussey aboard at first on the fielder's choice. Takes that one inside for ball one. Osseo, thrilled, and rightly so, to make that play, but they're not out of danger yet here. Still just one out. There's a strike.
Yeah, it's a huge out to get it home. I mean, odds are that Spring Lake Park would score at least one run this inning if they get a runner at third with nobody out. But just instinct play, and it didn't turn out well for Spring Lake Park.
Oh, and just foul down the first baseline. Just missed with that one. Klein not able to hold it either, which, kind of takes away your likelihood of getting that one called. Flip to first. And a rip and a miss, and Carlson down on strikes. Huge out right there, recorded by Tobson, and now that'll leave it up to Ben Trott.
Yeah, good breaking ball.
Another flip over to first. Klein digging that one out of the dirt. Keep the runner at first. Runner is going, a high chopper, and Contreras up with it. He'll step on the bag, and Osseo has its first win of the season in extra innings as they down Spring Lake Park, hold them scoreless in the 7th despite the leadoff batter getting to third base on the single and two-base error. But the Orioles hold on, no runs, 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 left aboard for Spring Lake Park. So Osseo securing its first victory of the season, 6-5 in 8. We'll be back to hear from the Orioles in just a moment here on CCX Sports. Well, it wasn't easy, but Osseo gets it done. First victory of the season for the Orioles, and it comes in great style in extra innings here over Spring Lake Park. 6-5 Osseo. The final, we're joined by a couple of the guys that made some big plays in this game. Starting back early in the game, Adam Landers, you get that big double. They were playing so shallow in the outfield all game long. They made a few catches because of it, but you're able to burn them there. Tell me about that at bat.
Yeah, first at bat, I was feeling good up with the plate. Just ripped the ball right to them, and second at bat, just stayed aggressive and got a pitch I liked and ripped it over their head and was able to score a few guys, which was big for us. Go out on an early lead, so.
There were a couple times when it seemed like you guys, kind of had taken control. You went ahead a little bit. They kept battling back. But how much fun was this game to be a part of, just with all the twists and turns it took?
Oh, yeah, it was a great game for us. Each team battled back, scored a couple runs, then the other team would come back and score a few. And it was a great game. Extra innings is always fun to play in, and this is probably my favorite game so far this year to be in.
Coach said to you guys right as you were breaking up your huddle there, 1 is better than 0. Obviously it's been a long time to get that win, but is it pretty exciting to get it, and I'll try and carry it into the rest of the year?
Yeah, it's a big first win for us. Now the monkey's off our back, as he said, and now we're just going to keep it going and hopefully pull a few more wins and just keep rolling into playoffs, and hopefully we get a little run going.
Thanks for joining us. Good job here today.
Thank you.
And Andrew Shaw, you're involved in a couple of the biggest plays, including getting the hit that was the eventual game-winning hit. What were you thinking when you came up there with the bases full there in the 8th?
I was just looking for a fastball to drive, and I got it. So we scored the run, and that's all that mattered.
And then the inning earlier, you made a huge play as a base runner, scored 2 runs on a squeeze bunt like that. Right? Were you thinking that right from the get-go, that you might try that if the opportunity was there?
Yeah, he said if I'm sending you, you got to go, and he gave me a big lead, and then they threw it to first. So then I was like, all right, I'm going. So that's what happened.
Obviously, you feel great about getting the win, but how exciting just was this game to be a part of when it went back and forth like that with both teams scoring some big runs?
Oh, it was fantastic. This is one of my favorite games, like Leonard said, and it was a great game. Timmy laid down a fabulous bunt there to get that extra run to take the 2-run lead, and that just kind of got the momentum in our side. So, yeah.
Obviously, you guys, would have preferred to have a better start to the season, no doubt about that. Yeah. But do you still feel like there's time to kind of get it squared away and get some momentum built after this one?
Oh, absolutely. We just got to build off this one and keep going, and then get a couple more wins, and then we're in the playoffs. So, yeah.
All right, good luck on Friday against Champlain Park.
Thank you.
All right, Andrew Shaw delivering the game-winning hit for Osseo in the top of the 8th inning. They hang on and get the victory. As we said, first win of the season for the Orioles, and a great battle by Spring Lake Park as well. A lot of good at-bats in this game for both teams, and the Orioles come out in the end with that 6-5 win. Hope you've enjoyed this one. For Drew Keogh and all of our crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. Again, your final, Osseo 6, Spring Lake Park 5.